Jiangsu tornado strikes like the apocalypse, dozens dead and injured, widespread devastation. Unusual phenomena persistently occurring in 6 provinces and cities in China. Half-an-hour delivery to China's outbound platform to compete for iPhone 15 business opportunities. Under attack from both inside and outside, Xi replies to Flying Tigers veterans, softening his attitude toward the United States. Expert, what is the most crucial reason for the upcoming collapse of the CCP? It's all covered in today's China Truths. Jiangsu tornado strikes like the apocalypse, dozens dead and injured, widespread devastation. The opening news for today continues with updates related to the sudden and horrifying tornado that unexpectedly hit Suqian City, Jiangsu Province, on September 19. According to the latest update as of September 21, the death toll has increased to dozens of people, with nearly 2,000 houses damaged. The on-site video footage shows that wherever the tornado passed, it became dark as if it were night, doors and windows were blown away, roofs were torn off, cars were blown away, and large trees were uprooted. Additionally, when utility poles were knocked down by the wind, transformers emitted billowing black smoke and caught fire, and set nearby houses on fire. Roofs of numerous houses were torn off. Later that evening, the tornado reached Funing County in Yanqing City, Jiangsu Province, coinciding with heavy rainfall in some areas, with the maximum recorded rainfall reaching 202.7 millimeters, exacerbating the disaster. Those who were fortunate enough to survive have described it as resembling an experience akin to the end of the world. Officials have stated that a total of 10 people have died in Yanqing and Suqian cities, with 8 people seriously injured, nearly 7,000 people affected, nearly 2,000 houses damaged, and over 240 hectares of crops affected. However, because the Chinese Communist Party has a history of concealing disaster information, the real situation needs to be investigated and confirmed. According to the Associated Press, tornadoes are rare in China, but they seem to have become more frequent in recent years. Last year, at least 1 person died during a tornado in Jiangsu Province. On May 15, 2021, tornadoes struck both Xingzi Town in Jiangsu Province and Wuhan City in Hubei Province on the same day, resulting in at least 12 deaths and over 300 injuries. In 2019, a tornado hit Liaoning Province in northeastern China, causing at least 6 deaths, and another tornado on Hainan Island the following month claimed the lives of at least 8 people. Unusual phenomena persistently occurring in 6 provinces and cities in China. In the past month, unusual phenomena have occurred in the skies or bodies of water in at least 6 provinces and cities in China. In detail, on September 19, a video was posted by a netizen in Sichuan, showing an unidentified luminous object in the night sky over Baolong New Town in Huaikou, Chengdu. The object resembled a dragon and was seen circling in the sky. On the evening of the 12th, a woman in Nanjing, Jiangsu, recorded a video. In the video, the sky was already dark, but there was an unusual sight in the night sky with 2 clusters of red lights. The person recording the video said, "It's so strange, why is the sky turning red?" A bolide monitoring camera at Jinan Kixingtai Observatory recorded unidentified flying objects on September 1 around 2 a.m., on the 5th around 5 a.m., and on the 6th. The monitoring video shows that on the 1st, the object was an eerie black color, and after reaching a certain height, it suddenly made a 90-degree sharp turn in the air and rapidly descended to the ground. During the descent, it emitted black smoke from its tail. On the 5th, the monitor captured 4 objects flying in a semicircular formation. On the 6th, a small luminous object first ascended in the sky and then continued to descend at a relatively fast pace at a gentle angle. On September 1, unidentified flying objects were also seen in the sky in Shanghai. Witnesses in Shanghai reported that the unidentified object fell from the sky and appeared red, as if it were on fire. On August 31st, a couple from Shanghai visited Tianqi in Xinjiang for sightseeing. While taking a walk by the Tianqi lakeside, they recorded a video. The video shows a long, fast-moving object in the lake, resembling a silver dragon. On August 21st, near the Wangqing Bridge in Luoyang, Hunan Province, an unidentified object fell from the sky, creating a large crater on the road. Videos circulating on the internet show that the unidentified object had an irregular shape, was entirely white, and had a significant size. Half-an-hour delivery to China's outbound platform to compete for iPhone 15 business opportunities. In the midst of the ongoing iPhone 15 craze in mainland China, various Chinese delivery companies are capitalizing on a business opportunity by adding iPhone 15 deliveries to their instant delivery services. This has sparked intense competition among these companies. For example, in addition to buying apples, you can also buy Apple or delivered half an hour after sale and delivered in 18 minutes. Multiple Chinese delivery platforms like Meituan, Hema, and ele.me are competing to seize the opportunity. According to Apple's announcement, the iPhone 15 series will be available for pre-order starting from 8 p.m. on September 15th and will be officially released on September 22nd. Apple's China website currently shows that some models of the iPhone 15 can be delivered 2 days after the release, but for the iPhone 15 Pro, the delivery time is 2 to 3 weeks, and for the iPhone 15 Pro Max, it can take from October 24th to October 31st for delivery. For many Apple enthusiasts, this delivery time clearly seems too long. Chinese delivery companies have recognized this opportunity and are making big moves. They have announced partnerships with Apple's retail stores to deliver iPhones just like delivering takeout. Chinese food delivery platform ele.me partnered with 3,000 Apple-authorized stores in 330 cities nationwide, offering iPhone 15 for delivery within half an hour on its release day. JD.com, through JD Daojia, collaborated with 4,600 Apple-authorized stores to ensure iPhone 15 pre-orders and delivery within an hour. Meituan's flash purchase platform engaged nearly 5,000 Apple stores, promising iPhone deliveries within 30 minutes on release day. Alibaba's Hema Fresh stores in over 20 cities, including Beijing and Shanghai, launched iPhone 15 on September 22nd, with delivery as fast as 18 minutes through X18 wine cellar service. Douyin e-commerce now collaborates with over 4,000 Apple-authorized stores, serving over 600 cities nationwide. From 8 p.m. on September 15th, users can access the Douyin app, search for iPhone new products, order items with guaranteed delivery times, or explore Apple-authorized stores for purchases, all with the promise of rapid delivery within hours or even minutes. Pre-sale items will ship on release day. Despite the CCP's official efforts to promote Huawei smartphones and suppress the influence of Apple, Chinese consumers have shown significant enthusiasm for Apple's newly launched iPhone 15. Under attack from both inside and outside, Xi replies to Flying Tigers veterans, softening his attitude toward the United States. In the midst of Xi Jinping facing attacks both domestically and internationally, his recent unexpected move towards the West has sparked numerous comments. Could it be that the Chinese leader's attitude towards the United States has softened? In more detail, as reported by the official Chinese media Xinhua News Agency, Jeffrey Green, chairman of the U.S.-China Aviation Heritage Foundation, along with Flying Tigers veterans Harry Moyer and Mel McMullen, recently co-authored a letter to Xi Jinping. In the letter, they introduced the foundation and highlighted the support of Flying Tigers veterans for fostering friendly exchanges between the United States and China. The Flying Tigers, composed of retired American fighter pilots, volunteered during World War II to assist China in its resistance against Japan during a crucial and perilous period. And in Xi's response, he stated, "Looking ahead, as two major countries, China and the United States bear a greater responsibility for the world's peace, stability, and development. We should and must achieve mutual respect, peaceful coexistence, and win-win cooperation." Xi Jinping's letter released by Xinhua coincides with intense high-level meetings between the U.S. and China. Secretary of State Antony Blinken met Chinese Vice President Han Zheng on September 18 during the United Nations General Assembly in New York. Earlier, White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan engaged in a lengthy 12-hour discussion with Wang Yi, China's foreign minister and director of the Central Foreign Affairs Commission of the Communist Party of China, in Malta. Wang Yi expressed opposition to categorizing all aspects of U.S.-China relations as competition and to the decoupling of the two nations under the guise of risk reduction. From an external perspective, this indicates that the CCP is unwilling to decouple from the United States. Moreover, there are indications that Beijing may reopen some cross-military exchanges to ease tensions, despite prior resistance from the Chinese military. Expert: what is the most crucial reason for the upcoming collapse of the CCP? In 2023, marking the 74th year of the Chinese Communist Party's rule and 45 years since the implementation of reform and opening up, it seems that instead of prospering, the Chinese Communist Party is heading towards its demise. Regarding the economic issues that concern many Chinese people, the Chinese Communist Party's economy has reached a point where all four major markets, namely the stock market, foreign exchange market, real estate market, and bond market, are simultaneously plummeting. Some financial experts have commented, from an economic perspective, the situation of four markets' simultaneous decline only occurs when a country is facing a severe internal economic crisis compounded by a financial crisis, while also experiencing an external sovereign credit crisis. To meet all these crisis conditions is extremely challenging, and it can even be described as a perfect crisis scenario. Additionally, regarding many Chinese people's biggest concern about politicians rising to high positions in politics, by this year, Xi Jinping has finally completed the 3 consecutive terms roles of General Secretary of the CCP Central Committee, Chairman of the Central Military Commission, and President of the country, reaching the pinnacle of power. But what does that mean? Xi Jinping lives in constant fear, always worrying about assassination attempts, military coups, political upheavals, and popular uprisings. He is constantly concerned that if he loses power, the lives of his entire family are at risk. No wonder U.S. President Joe Biden has said, "No one wants to trade places with Xi Jinping." Why is it like this? Many people are looking for reasons in various phenomena, but intentionally or unintentionally, they are avoiding the most critical issue. The Chinese Communist Party has continued to persecute Falun Gong for 24 years. Since July 20, 1999, when the Chinese communist dictator Jiang Zemin launched the persecution of Falun Gong practitioners worldwide have been clarifying the truth to the world, telling everyone, Falun Gong is not just ordinary Qigong, it is a form of Buddhism. It has extraordinary effects in healing, promoting health, purifying the body and mind, and benefits both the nation and its people without harming anyone. Yet, the persecution continues to this day. The most sinister aspect of this persecution is the systematic killing of Falun Gong practitioners for their organs on a large scale. The Coalition to Investigate the Persecution of Falun Gong in China, CIPFG, conducted an independent investigation over 17 years, including recorded phone investigations of high-ranking Chinese communist officials such as Zhou Yongkang, Li Changchun, Zhang Gaoli, and Bai Shuzhong. Their conclusion is, this is the most bloody, brutal, and malicious genocide, torture, and crime against humanity in human history since Hitler's Holocaust against the Jews in the 1930s. The Blood Debt Gang of the Chinese Communist Party, led by Jiang Zemin and Xing Qinghong, has therefore committed crimes of genocide, torture, and crimes against humanity that are unprecedented on this planet. The Blood Debt Gang led by Jiang and Zheng, with their hands stained with the blood of Falun Gong practitioners, has formed a special interest group where one's prosperity is linked to all, and one's loss is linked to all. To protect their ill-gotten gains from persecuting Falun Gong, and to prevent the reckoning of their heinous crimes, they go to great lengths to maintain the persecution. This is the most important reason why this persecution continues to this day. The consequences of this trans-century persecution, which has poisoned all Chinese people and all people in the world, have caused at least 4 severe outcomes. Firstly, it has eroded morality. Falun Gong teaches practitioners to follow the principles of truthfulness, compassion, forbearance to become better individuals, ultimately striving to be selfless and prioritize others over oneself. What has the CCP relied on for its continuous 24-year persecution of Falun Gong? It's falsehood, evil, and fighting. The CCP's 24-year-long promotion of falsehood, evil, and fighting has fundamentally corroded the moral fabric of the Chinese people. From top to bottom, inside and out, all CCP members, all party, government, and military officials, all party organizations and their affiliated entities, all party-controlled media, and all party-led enterprises and institutions have been spreading falsehoods. The CCP's most important political discipline must maintain a high degree of consistency with the Party Central Committee, coupled with the CCP's pervasive brainwashing propaganda, has left a significant number of party members, officials, and the general population apathetic towards the CCP's enormous crime of persecuting Buddhism. As Martin Luther King Jr., a leader of the American Civil Rights Movement, once said, "He who passively accepts evil is as much involved in it as he who helps to perpetrate it. He who accepts evil without protesting against it is really cooperating with it." The CCP is a faithful inheritor of Marxist struggle philosophy. For over a century, the CCP has been in constant struggle against heaven, earth, and people. By battling, they brought about a major pandemic in 2020. By battling, they enforced 3 years of extreme zero COVID in 2022. By battling, they incurred the wrath of both heaven and people in 2023. Secondly, it has undermined the rule of law. Over the past 24 years, the CCP has never cited any laws when dealing with Falun Gong practitioners. Without explicit provisions of the law, it is not a crime. There are no explicit provisions in the law, and no punishment shall be imposed. This is the universally accepted principle of legality for crimes and punishments. After searching through all the laws formulated by the Communist Party of China, there is no law that designates Falun Gong as a cult. However, for 24 years, the CCP's 610 office was established for the purpose of coordinating and implementing the persecution of Falun Gong, has controlled the police, the judiciary, and law enforcement agencies, continuously using the alleged crime of utilizing a cult to undermine the enforcement of law as an excuse to illegally arrest, detain, try, and persecute Falun Gong practitioners, resulting in countless miscarriages of justice. For 24 years, in various places disguised as legal facilities such as detention centers, labor camps, prisons, and brainwashing centers, CCP evildoers, driven by money and personal gain, subjected Falun Gong practitioners to over 100 types of torture in their efforts to force them to renounce their belief in truthfulness, compassion, forbearance. Many of these tortures are sadistic, inhumane, and devilish acts. For 24 years, the CCP has also applied its persecution methods against Falun Gong practitioners to target human rights lawyers, Christians, citizen journalists, law professors, outspoken internet users, activists, private entrepreneurs, people locked at home during the pandemic, petitioners, Uyghurs, Hong Kongers, and individuals from various walks of life. Highly respected Chinese human rights lawyer Gao Jisheng, who wrote 3 letters to the highest leaders of the CCP to defend Falun Gong practitioners, has been disappeared by the CCP since August 13, 2017. It has been more than 6 years. Gao Jisheng was hailed as the conscience of China and one of the most internationally renowned Chinese human rights lawyers. Since his disappearance, his wife, son, daughter, many friends inside and outside China, government officials from several countries including the United States, numerous international organizations, and many others have been searching for his whereabouts for more than 6 years. The CCP ignored them in a manner that can be likened to dead pigs not fearing boiling water. I am a rogue, and I fear no one. As of now, lawyer Gao Jisheng cannot be found either alive or confirmed as deceased. The CCP has become the most lawless party in the world. Thirdly, it undermines faith in God. China has been known as the Shenzhou, or Divine Land, since ancient times. The descendants of the Yan and Huang dynasties are known as the descendants of the gods, and traditional Chinese culture is known as the divine culture. Belief in and reverence for God are the most important reasons for the continuous development of China's 50-100-year civilization. However, since the advent of Marxism over 170 years ago, atheism has begun to spread throughout the world. Since the establishment of the Communist Party of China under the control of the Russian Communist Party, Bolshevik, in 1921, atheism has been rampant on the ancient land of China. On October 1, 1949, the Chinese Communist Party seized control of the Chinese mainland by any means necessary, overthrowing the legitimate government that had existed since the Republic of China. Since then, the CCP has employed all available propaganda tools to indoctrinate hundreds of millions of Chinese people with atheism. They have persecuted and isolated all orthodox religious beliefs centered around God, aiming to erode faith in God and respect for the divine. The CCP elevated the founding figures of the Communist Party, including Marx, Engels, Lenin, Stalin, and Mao Zedong, to a sort of altar and revered only Marx and Lenin. This has entailed trampling on traditional and universal values, resulting in innumerable human tragedies. On May 13, 1992, Falun Gong was introduced to the world, once again rekindling the faith and reverence for God among the Chinese people, reconnecting them with China's 5,000 years divine culture. Once again, the land of Shenzhou, China, witnessed a positive resurgence of morality and a return to virtuous behavior. The CCP persecuted Falun Gong for 24 years, marking the first instance in which the Communist Party forcibly employed atheism to brainwash the Chinese populace. Those Chinese individuals who have been subjected to the CCP's atheistic indoctrination no longer believe in the ancient Eastern saying there are gods 3 feet above the head. They reject the heavenly principle of retribution for good and evil and no longer fear the consequences of engaging in wrongdoing. They dare to commit outrageous acts. Over the past 24 years, numerous CCP members, officials, and ordinary citizens have embarked on a path from which there is no turning back. Fourthly, it destroyed the Chinese Communist Party from within. When Jiang Zemin initiated the persecution of Falun Gong, he believed that he had consolidated the highest authority of the Communist Party's government and military into a single entity. With control over guns, the military, knives, dictatorial machinery, pens, propaganda apparatus, and money bags, finance and treasury, he thought he could swiftly eradicate Falun Gong. However, what he never anticipated was that despite employing every possible method, both within China and internationally, he could not defeat Falun Gong. So, what was the solution? Jiang Zemin devised a plan. As long as officials followed his lead in persecuting Falun Gong, they would be promoted and given important positions. It didn't matter how corrupt these officials were. In fact, the more corrupt they were, the more they were promoted and rewarded. This year, she personally endorsed and appointed Qin Gang as the foreign minister, who was subsequently removed from office after only 6 months. Speculations suggest that Qin Gang may be implicated in corruption, moral indiscretions, espionage, and so forth. She also personally endorsed and promoted Li Yuchao, the commander and general of the Rocket Army, and Su Zhongbua, the political commissar and general of the Rocket Army. However, both of them were dismissed after serving only 1.5 years. There are rumors circulating that Li Yuchao and Su Zhongbua may be subject to corruption investigations. Now, Xi's anti-corruption and tiger fighting have taken the lead of the Xi family army, and it is no longer possible to explain it to both the Chinese populace and the global community. Instead, they have to use covert operations to cover up every day. The CCP has been persecuting Falun Gong for 24 years, meaning it has been an enemy of truthfulness, compassion, and forbearance for 24 years. The CCP certainly doesn't want to meet its demise. However, after 24 years of being the enemy of Buddhism and engaging in the worst actions, can the CCP survive? Don't forget to leave a comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. Make sure to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths.